We've all heard it, right? Blood is thicker than water. Family is supposed to be the one bond that's absolutely unbreakable. But what happens when that very bond is the thing that's breaking you? Right now, millions of people are wrestling with that exact question, making the incredibly painful choice to cut ties with their family. It's this silent epidemic, really. It's so often hidden behind a wall of shame and misunderstanding. It's called family estrangement. And behind that silence, there's a really profound and complex story of survival. So if you're here today looking for some clarity on this really tough topic, you have absolutely come to the right place. We're going to unpack it together. And hey, for more of these weekly explorations into the human experience, make sure you subscribe and click that little bell icon. Okay, let's get into it. So why do people really walk away? What's actually going on behind the scenes? Is it just a sudden fit of anger, a dramatic fight over dinner, or is it something much deeper? A desperate last-ditch effort to just preserve their own sanity? Well, I can tell you the answer is almost never what it looks like from the outside. You see, estrangement rarely starts with a big, loud explosion. It's much more like a slow, quiet erosion happening over years. Think of it like a volcano building pressure deep beneath the surface, completely invisible to anyone who isn't paying really, really close attention. Let's break down this myth versus the reality here. The popular myth is that it's a sudden explosion, right? One big fight, and that's it. But the reality is a slow erosion. The myth says it's an act of anger, but really, it's an act of complete depletion. It's not a single event. It's a cumulative process that's been building for years, maybe even decades. So what causes this erosion? Well, psychologists have a term for it, microtraumas. And don't let that word micro fool you. These aren't huge catastrophic events. No, these are the small, subtle wounds that just pile up. It's that criticism disguised as, oh, I'm just concerned about you. It's the boundaries that get pushed, just a little bit, time and time again. It's that dismissive tone of voice that tells you, without words, that your feelings just don't matter. Here's how that path to total depletion actually works. First, you have years and years of these microtraumas. Then, chronic anxiety just becomes your new normal. You know that feeling? Tensing up before you have to make a phone call, rehearsing conversations in your head. That becomes everyday life. Eventually, your emotional capacity, your battery, just runs out. And then, finally, some small trigger, a tiny comment, a forgotten birthday, it's the last straw. And all that pressure that's been building for years, it finally gets released. That's the eruption. Now, long before someone even considers walking away, they're often cast in a role they never, ever chose. See, in some family systems, your identity isn't something you get to discover for yourself. It's assigned to you. First up, you've got the golden child. Now, this isn't just about being the favorite. It's way more complex. This child becomes an extension of the parent's own ego. Their whole job is to make the family look good, to fulfill the family story of success, even if it means completely sacrificing their own authentic self in the process. Then, on the flip side, there's the scapegoat. This is the person who gets blamed for everything. All the family's tension, all its problems, they get dumped on the scapegoat. But here's the crazy irony. The scapegoat is often the one who sees the dysfunction the most clearly. They're the truth teller, and for daring to speak that truth, they get pushed out. And then you have the invisible child. This child's survival strategy is simple. Just disappear. Take up as little space as possible. They learn very early on that their needs are a burden, that any kind of attention can be dangerous, and that their only real safety lies in being quiet and unseen. So when you look at all these roles together, the golden child, the scapegoat, the invisible child, and we can even add the parentified child, the one who has to be the emotional caretaker for the adults, you start to see a pattern, right? None of these roles allow a person to actually be themselves. So for so many people, estrangement isn't really about leaving a family. It's about finally escaping the role that was slowly crushing them. This leads us to another really deep and often misunderstood kind of pain. See, some wounds aren't caused by something that happened to you. They're caused by what never happened. This is the quiet pain of emotional neglect. It's like going to a well for water over and over, only to find it's always empty. You keep going back to that well. You keep going back to your family because you're hoping this time you'll find some comfort. And then you go back again, hoping maybe this time they'll understand me. You keep going back, just hoping for a kind of love and support that just isn't there. It's not in the well. And every single time you walk away with a dry bucket, and this hollow, aching feeling inside. Eventually, you have to realize that continuing to go back to that empty well is actually a form of abandoning yourself. And so you stop, not because of what they did, but because of what they could never, ever give. So given all of this, when someone finally creates that distance, it is so important to understand what's really happening. This isn't an act of rejection. It's not meant as a punishment. It is a calculated and often heartbreaking strategy for survival, period. And this distance isn't just one thing. It can look a few different ways. Some people try low contact, shorter visits, keeping conversations on a very surface level just to preserve their own energy. Others try what's called the gray rock method. They become emotionally unreactive, almost boring, so there's nothing for the conflict to latch onto. And it's only after all of those things have failed, after every other boundary has been crossed, that many finally choose no contact. It's truly a last resort and final act of self-preservation. Because that's really the heart of it, isn't it? Distance is that moment of powerful clarity. It's the moment you finally look at the situation and say, I realize I cannot change you, but I can and I absolutely must protect myself.
But making that choice, creating that distance, that's not the end of the story, not by a long shot. It's actually the beginning of a whole new chapter. And that next chapter is all about navigating this really complex mix of grief and, believe it or not, relief, and slowly, piece by piece, rebuilding a life.
The kind of grief that comes with estrangement is, well, it's tricky. It's not like other kinds of loss. It actually has a name, ambiguous loss. It means you're mourning someone who is still alive, still walking around on the planet, but they are emotionally gone from your life. There's no funeral, there's no sense of closure, there's just this lingering ache for the relationship you wish you'd had. But here's the beautiful part. Out of all that pain, something new can start to grow. And that often comes from building what's known as a family of choice. This isn't about replacing anyone. It's about creating new connections. Connections that aren't built on obligation, but on mutual respect, on emotional honesty, on a feeling of true safety. These are the friends, the partners, the mentors who feel like home. So, in the end, after everything we've talked about, what does this all really mean? If there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. Choosing estrangement doesn't mean you're heartless or selfish. It means you stopped walking back into the fire just because someone told you that's where you belonged. It means you finally chose peace over chaos. Look, your story, whatever it is that brought you here today, it matters. It really does. And if any of this made you feel seen and you feel comfortable sharing, maybe leave your own reflections in the comments below. You never know who might find a little bit of strength in what you have to say. And of course, please subscribe for more insights into the human heart. Take good care of yourself. You deserve peace. You deserve to heal.